Thank you for joining us on our channel. Don't forget to give us your likes. Make sure you subscribe and please keep sharing. You are welcome to our channel. In the news today, you can only retire Tinubu in 2031. APC chieftain fires back at ex-SDP presidential candidate. A chieftain of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Ayeko Akindele, has declared that an impending coalition of opposition political parties that can only retire President Bola Tinubu in 2031. He was reacting to remarks by former presidential candidates of the Social Democratic Party, Adewale Adebayo, that ex-presidential candidates of the People's Democratic Party and Labour Party, Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi, are in talks to join the SDP. Adebayo said when they join SDP, they will oust Tinubu from power in 2027. He had said if Atiku, Obi and other prominent politicians willing to join SDP can stick to the party's culture, they will defeat and retire Tinubu and the APC. Reacting, Ayeko said Atiku and Obi will be politically homeless, unlike Tinubu, who will retire to Lagos. Posting on Facebook, Ayeko wrote, "We will retire Tinubu to Lagos, SDP, yes, in 2031. But what I love most about this statement is Tinubu and Lagos. When Obi retired as Anambra governor, he didn't retire to Anambra, he came to Lagos. When Waziri Adamawa retired as VP, he didn't retire to Adamawa but Abuja. When GEJ retired, he went to Bayelsa. When OBJ retired, he went to Ogun. When Buhari retired, he went to Katsina. Osinbajo relocated to Ikenne. Obviously, in 2031, Tinubu will go to Lagos. Shame on Obi and Atiku. They are politically homeless." Well, that happens to be a political jab, and we cannot, see less of that in our own politics as the race towards the next general election has, begun. It may be passive, but underneath is active, and people are beginning to think and permutate and begin to plan. Especially now that different political parties and different politicians, especially big wigs politicians now, are thinking and working on a purported coalition that will be strong enough to unseat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I could remember in 2015, such a coalition came together to unseat former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, and it worked for them. And they feel that if they decide to use the same strategy this time around, and then starting early, beginning to plan and come together, they feel that they will be able to retire President Tinubu in 2027. But a chieftain of the APC decided to, give a jab and said, no, it won't be 2027, it's going to be 2031. That is after President Tinubu might have concluded his final and second term as, allowed by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But then, while he was saying that, what he meant is clear. He believes that there is no coalition, no coming together, no committee, no association of political party can defeat Tinubu come 2027. Well, of course, what do you expect from politicians, especially coming from APC, who happens to be in power? You expect them to speak with all the sides of their mouth, their shells full and out, fully open, because they are the one in power. But of course, we also expect the opposition to speak in the other direction, believing that luck may shine on them and then they will have, the power come 2027. Who no like better thing, That is one of the slogans during the Hope 93 jingles. He said the thing with other country then define. Of course, he get am as one of the slogan of Nigeria jingle. I believe that SDP, of course, has plan, and the plan is that they should be able to retire Tinubu to Lagos. But then Ayeko was so contented with the word Lagos, believing that Tinubu has a political base, he has a home, unlike Waziri Adamawa Atiku Abubakar and then Peter Obi, who happens to have governed in Adamawa State and in Lagos, in Anambra State for Peter Obi, and then Atiku happened to be from Adamawa, but he was the vice president to the President Olusegun Obasanjo then between 1999 and 2003. 07, and he has to retire to Abuja instead of going to Adamawa. And then this Mr. Ayekoto gave example of others who, after they finish their term or tenure, they return to their own home state, unlike Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi, who retired in Lagos for Peter Obi. And these are some of the jobs. But then, wherever anybody retires, for me in Nigeria, everywhere is home. As far as we are talking about one Nigeria, of course, we can't rule out the fact that in our blood, the place of ethnicity is there. Even religion is taking its own toll on us. But be it as it may, when it comes to Nigeria, there is this sense of unity that we're supposed to possess, that we are one. So wherever anybody decide to retire, of course, it should be home for everybody, especially if that person has been in such a base for a long time, and his assets and business and his families and friends, those whom he knows, happen to be there, and his colleagues and business associates, if they are around such a place, I feel it is business wisdom and for him to stay in such a place. For me, I don't see any big deal in this. But then politicians will always make mole out of unnecessary things. They just make a mountain out of molehill. That's their way of doing. But then we are still looking whether what the SDP and others are planning will come to reality. Let's wait first before we now begin to talk about the effectiveness, the strength, the action, and the ability of that coalition, because we are yet to see the coalition anyway. Are still in talks, and we don't know what is going to happen at the end of the day. Of course, I also know for Anayekoto, speaking on behalf of the APC, it means that APC is not keeping quiet. They are not just sitting down. Underneath, behind the curtain, I think they are working too. Of course, for a Tinubu who has planned to be the president as a lifelong ambition for over 20 years, I don't think he will sit now and be playing when he has just about 4 years more to just go. And then, for him to take another term of 4 years, that's what I mean. I think he too will send his own foot soldiers out, begin to work more. But I want to advise him to do more as regards the economy. Very, very important. To make life easy for people, to bring down the prices of goods and services, make sure the price of fuel also come down, and also improve the energy in the country and increase production of food, bring in a lot of food inside and allow the farmers to go even to farm and stem this issue of insecurity. People will easily follow him. As long as everybody is happy around what he's doing and is giving us what we need, that's my advice for him. I think a word is enough for the wise. Remember to subscribe to this channel. Thank you.